Single phase full wave control rectifier, that is a two quadrant converter. So basically, what is the meaning of full wave control rectifier? Full wave control rectifier means the output will be obtained during the both positive half cycle as well as negative half cycle of the input AC. Single phase means there will be only one phase. And why it is control rectifier? Because we are using SCR. Okay, so single phase full wave control rectifier, basically there are two configurations of full wave control rectifiers, and their classification is based on the type of SCR configurations employed. So depending upon the type of SCR configuration, the full wave control rectifiers are classified as midpoint converters and bridge converters. Midpoint converters, also called as M2 connections. So in a single phase full wave control rectifier circuit with midpoint configurations, two SCRs, and hence the name M2, and a single phase transformer with center tap secondary windings are employed. So what we are using? We are using two SCRs, single phase transformer, and the transformer is center tapped transformer. These converters are also referred as two pulse converters. Why two pulse? Because there are two triggering pulses or two sets of triggering pulses are to be generated during every cycle of the supply to trigger the various SCRs. Means what is now the requirement? First requirement is we require two SCRs. We require two SCRs. We require a center tap transformer. We require triggering circuits for SCRs. So as we are using two SCRs, hence two triggering circuits are required for these SCRs. Single phase full wave circuit with transformer midpoint configurations are generally used for rectifiers of low ratings. So what are the applications? The applications are, it is used for low rating rectifiers. Low rating rectifiers. Now let us consider the circuit diagram for midpoint converters, that is M2 connections with resistive load. The figure 4.12 is the circuit diagram for full wave midpoint converters with resistive load. Here in this circuit we can observe that a single phase supply is given to the input of center tap transformer. The center tap transformer has three windings. Here it is labeled as A, N and B, three windings. So N is the center tapped winding. Now you can observe that one of the SCR is connected to winding terminal A. Second SCR is connected to secondary winding terminal B. The cathodes are made common for both the SCRs, and the resistive load is connected between the common cathode and the center tap winding. Let us have a zoom. So in this circuit two SCRs, one SCR on the secondary winding terminal A, second SCR on the secondary winding terminal B, then common cathode connection is made, and a resistive load is connected between common cathode terminal and center tap winding. Here, the direction of current flow is shown through this arrow. The direction of current flow is shown through the direction of current flow is shown through the arrows in both the circuits, which starts from A, T1, R and N, from B, T2, R and N. So there are two loops, and each circuit loop is activated during a specific half cycle of the input. So we will have a detailed look on the working of this full wave midpoint circuit with resistive load. So figure 4.12 illustrates a two pulse midpoint converter circuit with resistive load. This type of full wave rectifier circuit uses two SCRs connected to the center tapped secondary of a transformer. The input signal is coupled to the transformer to the center tap secondary. During the positive half cycle of the AC supply, when terminal A of the transformer is positive with respect to terminal B, or the secondary winding terminal A is positive with respect to N, then SCR1 labeled as T1 is forward biased and SCR-T2 is reversed biased. So what is happening during the positive half cycle? During the positive half cycle, SCR-T1 is forward biased and SCR-T2 is reverse biased. Since no triggering pulse are given to the gates of the SCR, initially both the SCRs are in the off state. As soon as the triggering pulse is applied at a firing angle alpha, the current would flow from terminal A through SCR1, the resistive load, and back to the center tap winding of the transformer terminal N. The current path is shown through this arrow. This current continues to flow up to the angle pi. What is pi? It is 180 degree. That is a positive half cycle. When the line voltage reverses its polarity, SCR1 is turned off. So depending upon the value of alpha and the load circuit parameters, the conduction angle of SCR may be any value between 0 and pi. During the negative half cycle of the AC supply, terminal B of the transformer is positive with respect to N and SCR2 is forward biased. So when SCR-T2 is triggered at an angle pi plus alpha, current would flow from terminal B through SCR-T2, then to the resistive load and back to the center tap of the transformer. This current continues to flow till angle 2 pi. What is 2 pi? It is 360 degree, means one complete cycle. And then the SCR-T2 is turned off. Why it is turned off? Because again the positive half cycle will come and it will act as a negative supply, reverse bias supply for SCR-T2, and hence it is turned off. Here it is assumed that the both thyristors are triggered with the same firing angle and hence they share the load current equally. Each half of the input wave is applied across the load. Thus, across the load, there are two pulses of current in the same direction. As we can see in the circuit diagram, the current is flowing through the load resistor from, from right hand side to left hand side in the positive half cycle, as well as in the negative half cycle the current is flowing from right hand side to left hand side. So the direction of current flow through the load during the both the half cycles is same, and hence we will obtain unidirectional current. Hence the ripple frequency across the load is twice that of the input supply frequency. The voltage and the current waveforms of these configurations are shown in the figure 4.13. From figure 4.13, we observe that with purely resistive load, the load current is discontinuous. The load current is discontinuous. Why the load current is discontinuous? Because unless and until the firing pulses are applied, the SCR will not be triggered once it is turned off. Now we can derive the voltage and current relationships. First, average DC output voltage. Before this, let us closely analyze the input and output waveforms. So as you can observe in this diagram, the first waveform is the input AC waveform. It starts from 0 to pi, it is positive half cycle. From pi to 2 pi, it is negative half cycle of the first cycle. Then from 2 pi to 3 pi, it is a positive half cycle of the second cycle of the AC input. Now the second waveform shows the triggering pulses which is applied during the time duration for each half cycle, for positive half cycle as well as negative half cycle. So positive half cycle triggering pulses will be applied to the SCR1, negative half cycle triggering pulses will be applied to the SCR-T2, and so on and so forth. Now let us derive the equations for average DC output voltage. The output DC voltage EDC across the resistive load is given by EDC equals to 1 upon pi integration alpha to pi Em sine omega t d omega t. Now what is EDC? EDC is the output DC voltage. Why 1 upon pi? This is the mean value. Okay. Why 1 upon pi? Because we are getting output from 0 to pi for the positive half cycle. Then again for negative half cycle from pi to 2 pi we are getting the output. So we are getting output for every positive half cycle from alpha to pi. This is also alpha to pi. This is also alpha to pi. If we solve further, EDC is equals to 1 upon pi Em minus cos omega t ranging from alpha to pi. Solving it further, we get EDC equals to Em by pi 1 plus cos alpha. So this is the average DC voltage. EDC equals to Em by pi 1 plus cos alpha. Now average load current, the average load current, again the formula for current is voltage divided by resistance. So voltage is em, the conduction period is for the full 0 to pi, one complete cycle. So from the previous equation we'll simply, if we simply divide this EDC with R, then we will get the value for current. So same, IDC is equals to EM by pi R 1 plus cos alpha. So this is the equation for average load current. The RMS load voltage for a given firing angle alpha is given by ERMS is equals to 1 upon pi integration from from alpha to pi Em sin omega t whole square d omega t whole square root. Now why we are taking this equation? From where we have derived this? Okay. For how much time period we are getting output? We are getting output from alpha to pi. Okay. Hence we have to integrate the area from alpha to pi. And what is this? This is the equation for instantaneous value. Okay. Instantaneous value. Now the meaning of RMS means root mean square. So this root means this square root 1 by 2 means, okay, root means this square root, mean value means all the values ranging from alpha to pi, but actually it is ranging from 0 to pi. So all these values are divided by pi, hence 1 upon pi. Why we are taking integration? Because there are n number of values which are ranging from 0 to alpha. We are getting output from alpha to pi. Total value is how much? 0 to pi. How much values, how much output we are obtaining? Alpha to pi. But during this time period alpha to pi, there are n number of values, and hence we have taken the integration. Solving it further, ERMS is equals to EM square by pi integration from alpha to pi sine square omega t d omega t whole square root. Solving it further again, we get ERMS is equals to EM 1 upon 2 pi bracket pi minus alpha plus sine twice alpha minus sine 2 pi by 2 whole square root. Solving it further, we get the final value of ERMS is equals to EM multiplied by pi minus alpha divided by 2 pi plus sine of 2 alpha by pi whole square root. So this is the equation for RMS load voltage. Now once again we will discuss the working of this center tap transformer full wave controlled rectifier with resistive load, also called as full wave midpoint circuit with resistive load or M2 connection. Okay, so during the positive half cycle, terminal A is positive, and is a center tap, then we will have equal voltages in the first half as well as in the second half. So if you look at the polarity during the positive half cycle, we are considering the positive half cycle of the input AC. Okay, so A point is positive and B is negative. So during this positive half cycle, when the triggering pulses are applied at the gate terminal of transistor T1, the current flows from terminal A. It is acting as short circuit. Thyristor is acting as short circuit, and it will flow through resistor R and back to the common terminal. So this is the direction of current flow during the positive half cycle. But at the same time, the SCRT2 is reverse bias, because here the anode is connected to negative terminal, and hence it is reverse bias. Means this circuit will not work. It acts as an open switch. Okay. So during the positive half cycle, SCRT1 is forward bias. When triggering pulses are applied to the gate terminal, the current will flow from terminal A to T1 from load resistance R and back to the terminal N. And the process continues during the positive half cycles like this. So during the negative half cycle, of the input supply, now terminal A is negative. It will again divide into equal parts. So now we look at this circuit. So during the negative half cycle, the B is positive with respect to A. Okay. So the SCRT1 is now acting as a open switch, and no current will flow through this SCR during the negative half cycle. It is acting as an open switch. Now, as SCRT2 is forward bias and applying the triggering pulse at this gate terminal, the SCRT2 will conduct, and the current will start flowing from terminal B to SCRT2 from resistive load and back to the terminal N. So this is the direction of current flow during the negative half cycle. Why SCRT1 is not conducting? Because anode of SCRT1 is negative and this SCR is reverse bias, hence it is acting as an open switch. Why SCRT2 is conducting? Because anode is positive with respect to this cathode, and hence by applying the triggering pulses during the time interval when negative cycle of the input AC comes. This is very important. Okay. So as soon as the triggering pulses are applied during the negative half cycle, the SCRT2 will conduct, and hence we obtain the output load voltage. To summarize this diagram, to summarize this circuit, let us see again the working by comparing both the circuit diagram as well as waveform. So during the positive half cycle of the input AC, SCRT1 is forward bias during the positive half cycle. Okay. So during this positive half cycle, this SCR will conduct when the triggering pulses are applied. Where we are applying the triggering pulse? At the gate terminal. Okay. We are obtaining the load voltage when T1 conducts. So we will obtain the load voltage, till the SCRT1 conducts. This continues. Okay. So we will obtain the voltage from alpha to pi. Why alpha? This is the firing or triggering angle. Okay. And we see that SCRT2 is off during the positive half cycle. Okay. So we have nothing to do with this SCRT2. Now during the negative half cycle, during the negative half cycle, SCR T2 conducts. This SCR T2 will conduct, and we have nothing to do with SCR T1 because during the negative half cycle, SCR T2 becomes positive or forward bias with respect to SCR T1. So during this negative half cycle, SCR T2 is forward bias with respect to SCR T1, and after a firing angle pi plus alpha, the SCR T2 conducts. As soon as we are giving the triggering pulses, the SCR will conduct. Okay, so we are getting the output after the angle pi plus alpha. So we will get the output. Why we are getting same current direction for both positive as well as negative? The direction of load voltage and load current is same. Why? Because if we look at this circuit diagram and we look at the direction of current flow, the direction of current flow from resistive load during the positive half cycle, this is for positive half cycle, this is for negative half cycle. During both positive and negative half cycles of the input AC, the direction of current flow through the resistive load is same. From left to right, same direction, and hence we are getting the load current as well as load voltage in the same direction. And when the SCR is not conducting, when the SCR is not conducting, at that time we will get voltage VT, voltage across this SCR. Now this is this, and this voltage across this. When the SCRs are off, we will obtain the voltages across SCR T1 and T2 respectively during the positive half cycle and negative half cycle. In this way, the circuit works. During positive half cycle, only SCR T1 is on, it will conduct. During the negative half cycle, only SCR T2 is conducting, and hence we will obtain full wave rectification for both positive as well as negative half cycles of the input AC. So this is all about the full wave control rectifiers using the center tap transformer. It is also called as M2 configuration. It is also called as midpoint circuit connection with resistive load.